Good day and welcome back to another Warcraft video. In this video we're going to talk about puzzling cartel chips, how you can get them and the restrictions on them and how they work. So yeah, let's take a look. So let's talk how you get puzzling cartel chips. So firstly, puzzling cartel chips are earned from a weekly quest. This quest is found here in Dornigal. It is the Ultra Prime Liberation quest, so you pick one of two things to do. It's the same quest, but you do one of two things. So you either defeat 4 bosses within the Liberation of Undermine raid on looking for raid difficulty or higher, or you complete any 4 mythic dungeons. Completing this for the first time will reward you 3 puzzling cartel chips, and then you can get 1 every single week afterwards, up to a total of a maximum of 9 per character. So doing Mythic 0 based content is fairly simple and easy. You can go to pre-made groups, dungeons, find a group, etc. Do a couple Mythic Zeros, or you can click Raid Finder and just go and do basically a section of the raid. You'll probably have a pretty easy time and you're pretty good to go. This quest is tied per character, so it is not a warbound quest, which means you can repeat it on each character to earn their puzzling cartel chips every week. So how do you spend the chips? Well, spending the chips is pretty easy. Right next to the quest there is a vendor, Consultant Rexel, and they will sell you the items with the chips. So as simple as that. Now the items you can buy have some restrictions. So basically the items you can buy include weapons, trinkets, and any other special items. Each item costs you 3 cartel chips. So you can, for example, guarantee yourself to buy at least 3 items through this method. Purchasing hero track gear, so heroic raid level gear or hero track gear, as you can see here, has no requirements. So all you have to do is spend the cartel pieces. As you can see, there's some great weapons that you can get, there are trinkets that you can get, there are chest pieces, there's everything you can get for your class. So that's great and that's awesome. That will only ever cost the actual cost of the trinket, so 3 priceless gems or 3 puzzling cartel chips. However, mythic track gear you will see is phased out. So mythic track gear I cannot purchase at this point in time. Mythic track gear will require the currency and either of, for mythic plus gear, so gear that drops from mythic plus, you have to have beaten the timer in all season 2 mythic plus dungeons at 12 or higher. So for example, if we go to the mythic plus gear, you will see here it says here complete all mythic plus dungeons within the time limit at keystone level 12 during the war within season 2. Or for the raid gear, for example, you have to beat that specific boss. So for example, if I want to purchase the mythic track raid gear for the first boss of Liberation of Undermined, I have to beat them on a mythic level. So obviously this is pretty intense, but it's understandable considering the fact that this is the highest level of gear. So it's basically a safety net that should you maybe need, for example, a BIS piece of slot gear from a specific boss, you will be able to pick that up from that boss once you defeat them with your puzzling chips. So it's a safety net essentially for you to grab those pieces of gear. So yeah, my best suggestion to all players basically would be to do the LFR if you are a casual player just looking to grab some powerful pieces to maybe push you into the bracket of doing heroic raiding. If you plan to use these most efficiently, then you're going to need to get yourself at the very least into entry-level mythics. Try to defeat the first boss or 2, and then hopefully that will enable you to grab a significantly powerful piece for yourself. For example, if I defeat the Cauldron of Carnage on Mythic difficulty, I will gain access to a fist weapon, which can be considered incredibly good for my spec. So by doing that, I could potentially give myself a huge advantage in trying to take on the other bosses. So my suggestion would be, if you're trying to optimize it, then rather earn the tokens however you want, but do not spend them until you manage to at least get rid of a boss or meet a requirement in terms of Mythic Plus. If you are looking just to utilize them properly, or just to utilize them in general to push yourself to higher content, then you are welcome to buy whichever heroic level piece you want. Obviously, we'll look at BIS pieces maybe in another video. But that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Good day.